Hi, everybody. Oh, wow, we're at the end. This has been a great time getting through this series. Yeah. And this is the end. This is the review series. And the song that we hear is Land, Sea, and Air 2014. Yeah, it's beautiful. And it sounds like the harp. It does. I'm not sure if it is, but it sounds like it, maybe. Well, we're building for improvement. We're ending up the series, Holding Hands with God, and it's a review series. So, we're going to share today and review some of the things that we've talked about, these living, godly, loving principles, okay? And, um, and so I think this is one, two, three. This should be part four. Let me see. Part four. Well, it's supposed to be part four. It is, but it has a part three written on it, but it's part four. So we're going to share today and review living godly principles. So our first share, when we first got to sharing together about the principles, um, we went throughout, we talked about in our lives that we have to make choices, um, and we have to be a part of God's loving principles in making our choices. That gives us the spiritual guidance to make right choices and decisions in our lives. So we shared about that. And then after we talked about how important that was, we talked about those choices and how these principles will help, and they're our lifeline. God is our lifeline, and these principles of He are our lifeline because these are His ways of love. And so we need to use those to hold us high. So we talked about that. And so we moved on in the first share during our recent times was how we have to attend godly services. We have to attend so we can be an encourager to other people and get encouragement ourselves. And because we get fed through these circumstances, when we're a part of a service with a group of people, we are able to connect and join, and we get so much nourishment for our spirits and our minds through this type thing. And this is shared in John 3:16. And we need to believe it and receive it. Yeah. Then we moved forward to sharing the part two, and we shared about seeking God and living His ways of forgiving others and their wrongness. And we shared about the person where I had the things for the Red Cross and they thought it was too close to their yard, and they got rid of them. And then everything came into me. Everybody heard about it, and they brought all these things to give to people that are, that need more, or they had some things that they wanted to share, and so they just brought all those things for the Red Cross to pick up. And this was an opportunity for me to be forgiving of this person that is going through a lot. They are going through so much that they are erratic and they do things that are not really the right thing that you should do. Because if you're going to do something to someone and there's a little edge that's kind of blurry or a gray area, you should talk to them about it. But this person didn't do that, and they did a drastic move based on their sorrow and their stress and anxiety. And I was able to practice one of the principles of handling this unsettling situation by using Psalm 24, and forgiving them, and doing what God would do. And so then we move forward to the fears. Yeah, we move forward to fear. That was another principle, fear of the Lord. Yeah, and that was from Hebrews 12 and a few other scriptures too. And we talked about there being two kind of fears. And I talked about my Grand Monet experience and the fear of God's punishment because I made a promise to Him that I wouldn't do it, and then if I did it, I would be fearful that God would take me down. And I said that I would never make a promise to God and then kick him to the curb and say it doesn't matter, I was just kidding or something. And then we talked about the great, glorious, high fear of Lord, which is the glory of His ecstasy, the glory of His excellency, the glory of His presence and all that He has done and all that He is doing and all that He will do. When we are really in that, when it's going on, we are so full of joy to the point of crying, tears of joy for all that He is. We have this fear of His fear, this awesome fear, and it's very positive, and so we shared about that, and that's in Hebrews 12. And then the last principle that we talked about is calling on God for direction. And we talked about those little cards. Remember these little cards that I told you? The little pass love along cards that go out to people with little gifts, and how that I've been taking them all about everywhere I go and everywhere I can go and everywhere, just everywhere. And God said, you can't do it all. You can't do it all. You need helping hands. And he said, I will tell you who to go to. And so he had me go to different people that he pointed to me to go to. And it was scary for me because that's kind of different. It's like somebody's coming to you asking you, would you be a helping hand? And giving them some gifts to take to others. And I shared with you that only one person out of a large group of people said they couldn't do it. They were afraid. They just couldn't go to somebody and give them a gift in love, even if they didn't even have to buy the gift. They just couldn't be that loving. Yeah. So they'll be growing and learning through the experience of other people sharing with them, or just it happening again. Because many things, they come to us once, they come to us twice, they come over and over again, because God's always bringing the goodness to us to see when we are ready. And when we are ready, we will receive. And when we are not, we will not. So that's kind of the full circle there on our review series, The Principles of Godly Living. And we call on God for direction and we obey him. And our minds and our hearts have to be joined together. That's so important. And so we talked about that. And so this is our last share in this series, and then we will move on. We will still be talking. We will still, as far as I know, the heading is still going to be building for improvement, because I think that God's going to say, hey, we're always building for improvement and there's never any end. It's always a new beginning of building. A new beginning of building, it's all over and over, holding hands with God, and we always need to hold his hand. And so we'll move forward and we'll see what he has next. But it's really great that we know now that it's really important for us to have a really joyful life, that we have to live by godly principles, and we have to hold hands with God and be heartfelt. And our minds and our hearts have to connect. And if we can do that, we can continue building for improvement. Yeah, so glad I got to share with you. There's a new song on now called Celtic Zen 1997. So we'll go out with that. This is the Sunday morning message on Thursday. I'm still wearing my heart. It shows me who I am in Christ. Yeah, it's there to remind me and to remind you that this is a special time for us. This is the Sunday morning message on Thursday. Please eat healthy and drink your water, and thank God for the possibilities, and know that we love you. Okay, until we talk. We'll be talking again soon, and I'm looking forward to it. Alrighty, bye-bye.